Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in for another exciting WFHB Firehouse Session. This is Abby, and I'm very happy and excited to be here talking with Zane McLaughlin of country rock band Oldstar. Zane, would you like to introduce your band with you today?
Yeah, on the bass guitar I have my friend Apollo Colt, and then across from me on the double neck 12-string and 6-string guitar I have Cameron King.
Awesome. Well, we're going to have the chance to talk more with Oldstar, but first, would you start us out with a song?
Yeah, this one's called California. I drive that thing to California, but I wouldn't drive it back. I know a thing or two about used cars, but I don't know a thing about that. What's it like to have a woman? What's it like to have a man? What's it like to feel something, or to know that you can? So I'll drive that thing to California. I'm gonna drive and never look back. Or I could drive to Carolina if I could figure out where that's at. Would you miss my guitar if I didn't play it? My truck if it didn't drive? Do you miss the ones who made it? Would you miss my breath if I weren't alive? So I'll drive that thing to California. I'm gonna drive and never look back. Or I could drive to Carolina if I could figure out where that's at. Drive that thing to California. I'm gonna drive and never look back. Or I could drive to Carolina if I could figure out where that's at.
You've been listening to Oldstar here on WFHB. Well, welcome to Bloomington.
Thank you.
Is this your first time?
It is.
What do you think? You just got here.
I don't know yet. I like the town square we drove through. That's
Yeah.
about all we've seen.
Yeah.
It reminded us of Denton, Texas somehow.
Oh, really?
It's like the same layout.
I've heard Back to the Future.
Yeah, maybe.
Where in Florida are you from originally?
It's the Panhandle area, so like Panama City Beach, Santa Rosa Beach, and like Destin. It's like these three towns that kind of run into each other.
Yeah.
It's a long strip.
What's the music scene like there?
Covers at bars and stuff really is kind of what goes on. There's one rock and roll bar that we play called Mosey's, which we played out with Good Looks. And they have good bands come through every now and again, but it's mostly like alt country and stuff.
And you mentioned before we started that you just moved to New York.
Yeah, I did. I just figured I had to get out eventually.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned to you this before, but I heard about Oldstar from the guys in the band Good Looks.
Yeah.
And they were so enthusiastic about you. I had to check you out, and I'm really glad I did. What is the band's origin story? How did you all come together?
Well, me and Cameron used to have a thing when I was like 9, and you were what, 15? And I was playing drums and Cameron was playing guitar, and I did that for a while. And then I like used to jam with Apollo and our drummer Jackson, who isn't here. And like when I was like 12 or something. But then in high school, I started writing songs because nobody else really wanted to play what I wanted to play. Mm-hmm. So I kind of figured it out myself. And then it got to a point where enough people were like listening. So I decided to get like a band together and started playing shows out. And there were a few different people in the band before this lineup, but it kind of all worked out this way.
Very cool. Well, you just put out a new album titled Of the Highway, which we just added at the station. Yeah. Congratulations. It is
Thank you.
Really good album. Is this your 4th release?
I guess I would say it's our 4th record, but it's kind of like the debut record as a band. It's the first record I've recorded with other people.
Oh, very cool. Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about the recording of this album.
Well, we originally planned to we all packed up the van from Florida, and we were like, we're going to finish a record in a week in New York. And it didn't work out that way. So we recorded a lot of tracks in a short amount of time. And then the past couple of months, we've been kind of putting them back together and overdubs and such. But it was a really big learning experience for us all because we've never really been in a studio. Like Apollo's never really recorded like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like used to my own kind of antiquated way of recording alone. So having other people do it for me is kind of strange.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I loved it. It's great because I just get to sing and play guitar. I don't have to think much.
Yeah, that's great. I saw on your Bandcamp page that you describe Oldstar as country rock. And I've also seen your sound described as bootgaze and southern slowcore. I'm curious what your influences are.
It's everything. That's so cliche, but it is. I mean, the big ones are like, Graham Parsons, Neil Young from like a lyrical standpoint. And then as far as sound, it's bands like Uncle Tupelo and Sun Volt, and like we really like the Brian Jonestown Massacre. It's kind of all over the place. Jason Molina's another big one with Songs Ohio. I could go on forever. The band, we're super into the band right now.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, I think now would be a good time for another song if you're ready.
Yeah.
Great.
This one's called Wake Me. Would you wake me? Would you wake me when the night quiets down? I wanna tell you what I meant when we were out on the town. Would you wake me? Would you wake me when the stars come out? Football is back in season. Hear the young guns cheer when they touch down. Great night for stealing gas, but even that won't get me out of bed. Would you wake me instead? radio will rock us to sleep. We'll have sweet dreams, you and me. It's a great night for stealing gas, but even that won't get me out of bed. Would you wake me instead? I quit my job last week, thanks to that my day is free. Would you wake me when you think I'm ready?
You've been listening to Oldstar here on WFHB, ahead of their show tonight at the Bishop with Tombstone Poetry and West Head. So how has your tour been so far?
It's been pretty good. We're kind of early on into it. We started in New Orleans 5 days ago. This will be the 4th show.
Where do you go after this?
Tomorrow we're going to Chicago.
Oh, fun.
And then, Detroit and Cleveland after that. And then there's a bunch more. But yeah, it's been really fun. Every time, I guess this is really the second real tour we've had, but every time I think we're all just like, this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
It's just so fun. And especially hanging out with Tombstone Poetry and getting to see them play every night is a blessing.
That's great. What were you listening to in the tour bus on the way here?
Girls, Girls, Girls by Motley Crue.
Nice.
But before that, there was a Steve Earle song that I was listening to. It's called Transcendental Blues. I'm really into it right now.
Cool.
But just like alt country stuff like that. Uncle Tupelo, always. Yeah.
What kind of music did you listen to growing up? We talked about influences,
Yeah,
but when you were a kid.
A lot of Neil Young and like Crosby, Stills, Nash, some Skynyrd too. My dad was kind of into all of that world, Allman Brothers, Southern rock in general.
Were your parents into music, play music?
No, not really. My dad, he used to play harmonica at parties, I think. But then I started playing drums and he picked up guitar after that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So did you play together?
No, not as much as we should have.
Really?
I really regret it, honestly.
Well, it sounds like you were pretty young when you started
Yeah.
playing music. Do you remember how old you were?
I think I got my first toy drum kit when I was 2 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've always been really drawn
Yeah.
to music from
From
forever.
since before I can remember, really.
When did you know you wanted to pursue it as a career? Because you're 21.
Yeah.
Right? So
Well, I've always kind of had that idea in the back of my head, but it just hasn't really seemed real, and it still doesn't seem real. I'm still kind of wrestling with the fact that I'm like, oh, if I make a couple right moves, I could maybe do this.
Yeah.
So I'm figuring it out, but
Yeah.
I would love to. I don't want to be a barista forever, but it's okay if I have to be.
Was your family supportive?
Oh yeah, they're super supportive.
Oh, that's great.
I wouldn't be doing this without them. They make it really easy for me.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is there anything coming up that you're really excited about in the rest of this year?
I don't know. Just doing this
Trying
tour.
to get to Japan?
Yeah, trying to get to Japan. I'm working on planning a West Coast tour because we haven't been out there.
Oh, cool.
And, we have a lot of buddies out there that we'd like to see and play with again. But it's just really far.
Yeah, it's far.
But we'll figure it out.
This evening, you are playing at the Bishop with Tombstone Poetry and West Head.
Yeah.
What can our listeners expect at the show tonight?
I think a great blend of country, emo, and folk, and rock. It's just it's all over the place in the best way possible. Me and Tombstone share a lot of great similar influences, and they're an awesome band. They have a fiddle player and a keys player, which is really awesome. 2 things that I wish we had, but yeah, it's just going to be fun and loud and rowdy. We'll have a drummer too, so yeah, it'll be good.
Great. Well, looks like we have time for one more song.
Yeah.
Great.
This one is called Engine. I'd lose a fortune trying to outrun that horse. If it were a Cadillac, I'd probably lose a whole lot more. I'll count the train cars as I fall asleep. It's mighty warm here in your passenger seat. I think I know the sound of your engine, the driving home anywhere. And I think I know the sound of your engine, the driving home anywhere. The morning call from the motel desk. I wish it were a rooster or your head on my chest. But you dropped me off at the county line underneath those dim and old parking lot lights. I think I know the sound of your engine, the driving home anywhere. I think I know the sound of your engine, the driving home anywhere. I think I know. I think I know.
You've been listening to Oldstar here on WFHB. Where can our listeners find your music and connect with you online?
Our music is on most platforms. I think all of them. Just Oldstar, and then I have an Instagram, which is Oldstar, but the A is a 4, and that's where I do all the posting of shows and such.
Great.
And then there's a blog spot. There's a website, but I don't post on it too much. But I will post things there.
We're gonna hold you to it.
Blogspot, yeah.
Well, Zane, Apollo, and Cameron, thank you all so much for making the time to come
Thanks
in
for
and do
having
this.
us.
You can see Oldstar tonight at the Bishop with Tombstone Poetry and West Head. The show is 21 and up, and it starts at 9 p.m. This is your host, music director, and Firehouse Session producer, Abby Noroozi, and I'd like to give many thanks to our general manager, Jar Turner, engineer Marcus Drolet, videographers Brian Boucher and Garrett Portinga of No Guru Media, and to you for tuning in to WFHB.